What's up, y'all? This is Hussein Nasser from IGeometry, and today we'll continue with our series of ArcGIS add-ins. Alright, last time we have built our UML, right? Remember that? We have used Glyphy to do that. So we have built this. So after a week, so this is what is really fascinating about this. So you can't depend on your memory as a developer. You have to do something. You have to have some sort of tools that simplifies the design for you. So you can hand the design for someone else even, or for yourself. So in this case, I designed that a week ago. Now, if I didn't do that, for example, I would directly jump into the code and start wondering what is what, right? But since I do that, I open that and I say, oh, okay, I have 4 classes. This is the phone class, this is towers class, tower, and this is tower manager. So I know from the flow of directions that this is my main class, the tower manager. So this is what I'm gonna start writing, right? In this episode, I'm gonna write classes, finally, right? And for simplicity, I'm gonna write this function, hopefully. I only have, guys, today 30 minutes, right? I just bought an Alexa and actually told her to set a timer for 30 minutes. So I'm gonna use her for that. Hopefully she will be helpful with that. All right, so yeah. So we're gonna start with this. All right, so let's go ahead and build our classes, and then we write a function called GetTowerByID. So this function takes an ID, obviously, of the tower, and returns a tower object with all this information filled. So let's hope if we can do that in 30 minutes or not. I don't know, but we'll find out. So let's open our Visual Studio Express and open our project. Yeah, Phonetic. Oh, that's big. All right. Last time we did, I think, a tool, right? In this episode, we'll not need a tool, obviously. We'll need a button to test that, but let's just write our classes. So we have a tower manager class. We have a tower class. Phone towers. Let's do them. Just right click, add. This is how you add a class. So I'm gonna add a tower class. This is my main class, alright? Alright. Obviously no inheritance, nothing. So add another class. Let's call it towers with an S. So this is a collection of towers. That's it. That's the only reason of adding a class. Some of you will ask, why do you need a class to have a collection of it? Why don't you just use the generic list, right? List of towers. The reason is that with this I can add functions on top of my list and do more cool stuff, right? You'll know with time, guys. You'll know with time what I mean. Some of you will just go ahead and do the, stick with the one class, so we have more or less classes, but I like it better this way. It's really a choice. All right, so what a phone, and finally tower manager. All right, so I add 4 classes. Add a class. We add a tower manager. All right, so by default, I think C# have the class as set up private, I think. So we need to change that. Private or protected? You guys correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm not a C# expert. I know that VB.NET makes them as public by default. Explicitly says it. What's that? No. Yeah. So yeah, Control S. So I'm gonna just say public here. And public. When I say public, that means everybody can access this class. That's probably something you want to consider before we do that, right? But now, for sake of testing, we can even go go with just protected, really. We don't need public, but why not, right? Because protected is within the same scope of the project. Public is within, if you compile this into a DLL and you reference it, for example, you can call it. So you can call it even from outside projects. All right, so we have a tower manager, we have tower object. So let's start with the tower object. What do you have in the tower object? See, I just go here and look and type. I don't remember anymore. See, I have an ID string. So how do you do that? Simple. How do you add a property in C#? You say prop and you tap, tap, tap. This is a string and this is called ID, and that's it. You can say fancy comments. So if you add 3 comments this way, if you / it, it will add a comment to your ID. So this is the ID of the tower. All right, what else? What else? Tower type. Same thing. Prop, tap, tap, tap. String. Tower type. Tower type. What else we have? Network band. All this information, remember, it's in the data model, all right? String network band. The network band. I don't know why I'm adding comments, but yeah. Prop, double tower cost. These information are actually where? The tower cost in dollars, for example, you can say. Whatever you say, you type here will be visible when you use this method or property, all right? That's very important. Prop, double tower coverage. How far the tower can reach. See, stuff that is useful for developers that who will be using your class. It's very important, guys. Tower height. Double, is it double? I think it's double. Yep, it's double. Definitely it's double. Tower height. And this is a waste of time, obviously, but we have to do it, right? The height of the tower. Agent Romanov. Tower. I'm playing Red Alert 2. I just miss it, so that's why. Tower base area. Tower base area. Do you remember why this is important, the base area, guys? The area will be used later to calculate the rent that you're gonna pay for whomever owning the land you will install the tower on. All right. The shape. The shape is a geometry of type point. So I'm gonna do prop I point, and then I'm gonna say, you know what? I think I'm gonna leave out the shape for now, for reasons I'm gonna discuss later. A shape is a pointer. All these are native variables, very nicely can be copied into memory. They are locatable memory allocation. Geometry or point is a pointer to a memory location with blob stuff, right? With binary. That can go nasty if you don't take into consideration recycling and what's not. So we're gonna talk about it very slowly. So what's that? What do you want? Save. Okay, what do you want? No, 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 no. What do you want? All right, let's go to Tower Manager. What do we have in Tower Manager? So in Tower Manager, we have a method that we're gonna do today. Only one method. I promise you guys, we're gonna do it later. So this method returns a tower. How about that? So it returns a tower, and it's called GetTowerByID. It's called string tower ID. How about that? So now C# will give me an error. Why? Because C# says, hey, you said that you're returning a tower, but your method doesn't have any code, because he likes to execute stuff beforehand, and he actually tells you what to do, you know. I know that I'm doing what to do, guys. All right. In this method, what we will do is we'll take the tower ID, query them tables. Let's open my phonetic. Remember, guys, I know it's been a long time, but you can't forget, can you? We have a Geo Database with... So in this method, this is what we will write, okay? I think this is the only methods that we're gonna write today. So GetTowerByID that will query the database. This is what exactly it will do. So these are some values that we created last time, right? Go ahead and watch, and you will see. If you're watching this in series, you probably will not forget it, I guess. So this is, for example, the ID of this is tower 04. Okay, I'm gonna get this, and I want to get all the information, the tower object. So here in the feature, I have only two features, two information. Are we recording? Are we recording? Yes, we are. Okay, I'm always do this. I'm sorry, guys. So tower ID. This is the tower type C, network band 3G, and so this is the information that we will do. All right, so we have these two type of information. Okay, and now we need more of this, of course. There are stuff that is not in the feature, like coast coverage. Where are they? Remember, guys, we have something called tower details. Tower details are a table that's located here, and it has all these nice information. So we need to pull that off now too. So in this case, what we will do is that this is exactly the code that we'll be writing, right? So hopefully we have the time to write it. Right, so, oh, sorry. This is a comment, by the way, in vb.net. So this is a comment. All right, I thought that was Alexa, but no. All right, so we need query the Geo Database. All right, get the hash, no, not the hash. Query the Geo Database, get the feature, the tower feature by ID, then get the tower type, and then query the tower details table to get the rest of the data. How about that? We can do that, right? We can pull that off. All right, guys, so let's do that. First of all, there's a very piece of information that's very important here, and it's missing. You know what? I'm gonna put a link hopefully here to pull you out to something called the workspace. We talked about that in, I think, the 6th episode. I'm very bad at numbers. So we talked about this in the previous list of... So a workspace is actually your connection to your Geo Database, and in this case, this baby, right? This is my workspace in this case. All right, so what we want to do here is actually we need a workspace object. So we'll assume that the tower manager, when you create an object of the tower manager, you have to pass the workspace, right? So that's an assumption. So how do you pass a workspace? It's very easy. So if I can do it, I think it's this is how you do a constructor in C#, right? So I workspace, the workspace, if I'm not mistaken, right? So it doesn't have this, so we need to add this reference. iWorkspace is located in the Geo Database. It's isri.arcgis.geodatabase. Geo Database. I think just in case it's sources as well, I'm gonna add the sources, Geo Database sources. Let's try that. On point, yeah, it is in this. All right, so we have the workspace. Now I need to create a modular variable so we can access this workspace from this method. So how do we do that? CS 101, guys. It's only so what's that? Private variable I workspace. Again, guys, private variables for me, I always start them with underscore. You don't have to, and they are always small letter for me. This is for me, all right? This is how I do it, but you don't have to, okay? And you don't have to set it to null even. So, but I always, private variable, I always start them with underscore. This is just a code standard. You don't have to follow it, but it simplifies your life. You have to follow some sort of standard. That's all, whatever that standard is. So, right. So I like to use this standard. So So when I see this code, I know that this is a private variable. I don't have to look up or, you know. So when we call this method, we pass the workspace, we set the variable. Now we have access to our workspace. Now I can query the database. How can I query? First, we need to get the feature class. Remember? The feature class, how we open a feature class? We need iFeature workspace, bFeature workspace equal workspace. And thank you guys, by the way. Someone in the comments has taught me this new method that I can just say var bFeature workspace and I can cast these guys together, but I don't know if I can. So in this case, we open feature class. So in this case, yeah, that's kind of a problem. So I can cast it without problem, but I don't know the method name, right? So iFeature workspace. To cast it, I have to do that. So, but I don't get the list of methods. That's the problem. Yeah. So, sorry guys. So open feature class. There's a method. If there's a way I can do that, and for instance, if I know the name of the method, I can just do that, right? But if you know it by heart, you know that it's actually a capital F and C, then you can do var and do that, and you don't have to do that, you know. But I'm gonna use this function a lot. No, not really. I guess they don't like it. All right, forget it. Stick with this. So I'm gonna open a feature class here. So I'm gonna declare an iFeature class. Let's call it FC tower or whatever, right? Feature class tower. So the feature class tower name is the name, guys, not the layer name. You have to go to the name, properties, and go source, and towers with an S. So we have to name it towers. All right. Okay. We have towers feature class, nice and done. We have my towers feature class. Now we do the query. How do I do a query? Filter, very nicely done. P query filter equal new query filter. P query filter dot where clause equal, it's called ID or tower ID. What's the field name? What did we call this guy? It's called tower ID, right? Nicely done. Is it tower underscore ID? This is the field alias name, by the way, guys. So you need to get the actual field name. That's the name, tower ID. So we are right. On point, guys, on point. Since this is a string, you have to add a single quote here. And then you add, can you guess? I'm searching for this guy. Whoever passed this to me, right? Now, I have my where clause. I need everything, so pQuery filter dot all subfields. So by default, if you don't specify that, it will return everything. So I think subfields is null, so everything. All right, so pQuery filter is good. FC tower dot search, give me the filter and make that recycling. I don't care. And then we get, if you want to know the difference between recycling and non-recycling cursor, I have put an episode for that. Hopefully, if I don't remember, if I don't if I don't forget, I'm gonna add you a link here, guys. All right, I'm bad at this YouTube editing stuff, so forgive me. I feature cursor equal pf cursor equal this guy, and then you say, can you cast? See, this casts nicely because this is a feature cursor and this is a feature cursor, so you don't have to explicitly tell the C#. All right, we have the feature cursor. Now pf cursor dot next feature. So not them, no, I feature, p tower feature equal this. So now this p cursor will never be null or nothing. So you guys, I've seen some code that people actually does this. You don't have to do that. It's never null. It has to be something. Even if the result returns nothing, the feature cursor has an object, so you don't have to care. The only time that it's null is when there is an error in your query. So if you have put some weird ass where clause here, so this will throw an error, so this will be null. That's the only time. And when it's null, your program will stop working. So if you have a try catch, this will basically fail, right? So you don't, I never check for this. I don't need to check for this. So I always trust that it returns something, you know? So but that P tower feature you have to test, because this can actually be null because if you don't find a result. So if I find a result, I do that. I can do that, for example. If it's null, just return null. I couldn't find anything. I'm sorry, guys. Right? So I couldn't find a tower object, and a null can be casted to a tower because they are basically implementing the same interface. Null can be casted to anything, I think. Not anything. Integers cannot be casted. You have to add like question mark or something. Whatever, this is not our topic. All right. What do we do next, guys? We have that feature. Now we stop populating an actual tower object. How about that, guys? So tower. You can do that, by the way, because this is a small tower object. This is a capital tower object, so you can actually do that. I don't know if you can do that in VB, though. Not so sure. Tower. I created a new tower object now. Start filling this app. ID. What's the ID of that? You have two options. You can go the hard way or the correct way. The correct way is just the hard way or the easy way. There's no correct way. Just go tower ID, tower dot network band. I think the network band is not there, right? Is it? It's there. The network band is there. I can get the network band from the feature. I can get the tower type from the feature. I can get the ID from the feature and the object ID, obviously, which is useless. So the tower ID, 3 things. That's the only 3 things I can get from the feature. Right? So network band is equal pt tower feature dot value p tower feature dot fields dot find field. What's that? Network band. And since we like copy and paste, oh no, I'm sorry. There are a lot of things that we can do here, guys. Or sorry, this is not VB, Hussein. This is not VB. Get value. It's not value. It's get value. This is C#. And then you say toString, I think. Or no? You like it? He's fine with that? I don't trust this C# thing. Sometimes you just... Alright. So get value. This will return what? This will return a dynamic. What was dynamic? I don't know what the hell is dynamic, guys. Seriously, I don't know. But apparently this variable can be casted to anything. That's what it is. Dynamic. I think that dynamic is variant in VB. Confirm, guys. C# folks, please confirm. I'm not a C# expert. Please help. Help. Right? Any tip will be very helpful, okay? I'm not like any other professionals out there. I do ask for help, all right? So it's not a problem for me. I do seek your help as well. So yeah, my knowledge is GIS. I know programming. I know VB very well. I don't know C# very well. I just started coding C# like 3 months ago, literally. But yeah, if you have tips, do share. Do share. Tower dot. All right, so network band we can, ID we can, and what else we said we can? What else we said we can? Tower type, I'm sorry. Tower type equal, same thing. We like copy and paste. Tower type. All right, the rest, we need to work for it, guys. The rest, we need to work for it. And we will, by the way, enhance it. Okay, this is a very, not ugly, I wouldn't say ugly, but it's a very unperforming code for now. The one I'm gonna write now. So now we have written we fetched the feature. We have the feature now. We populated my tower object. I can just go ahead and return it, but I need. Let's go ahead and let's return it, and then we continue. Okay, return tower. Of course, if you reach, that's return tower. If you don't find the feature, you return null. All right. So now that we have returned the tower, let's test this. How about that? We have a test button here. How about that? We have it's actually a tool. A mouse up. What does this do? Yeah. Does what does it do? All right, just does some stuff. Let's comment this code. Don't need that. In this case, I am going to get the tower object ID T04. I'm gonna get that. I'm just gonna do some message boxes here. All right, so I'm gonna declare a tower manager TM equal new tower manager. I know I need to pass a workspace. Where could we get a workspace from, guys? Very easy. iWorkspace. P workspace. I don't need that actually to declare. So if I could give my hand on a feature class, I could get the workspace. But how can we get a feature class? We get a feature class if we can get our hand into a layer. But how can we get into a layer? It's basically the first. This is a bad assumption, by the way, guys. Don't do that. This is just for the sake of this example. I don't have time, so I'm gonna write this bad code. It's bad. Don't write it, okay? This is just for illustration, okay? I've written a good code in the past 36 episode, I guess, that actually tells you how to traverse your layers, but don't write this code, okay? So I'm gonna go and fetch the first layer from the map. How do I do that? Active view map focus map layer of 0. I think, yeah. So this is the first layer. First layer, I'm assuming it's a feature layer. That's a bad assumption, but I know from my current configuration that it's a feature layer, so I can do that. Alexa, stop. Alexa, set a timer for 15 minutes.
15 minutes, starting now.
Thank you. All right, just 15 minutes and we're done, guys. The feature layer. All right, Carto. That will tell me, of course. And then we do that. Feature layer. And then that's the good stuff here. So I need a data set. A data set PDS equal, from the feature layer, I can get the feature class, and I can cast the feature class to a data set since they implement the same interface. I mean, the feature class implements our data set, so I can do that, obviously. I do that, and then p.set dot workspace, and then build, and then we do tower t equal tm dot get. Where the hell is my function? Hey man, of course it's a private function. Public. Yeah. Get tower by ID T04. I want T04, right? And then we're gonna do some message boxes, guys. Here. Dun, 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 dun. Tower ID. Tower T.ID. Then we're gonna add a new line. Then add the list of the information. So tower type t.tower type. The rest is null, remember guys. And we're gonna do them, I think, the next episode. I don't have time, but it's easy. This is a short episode, right? Some of you like short episodes, right? So t dot, and it's good. Like we don't want to give a lot of network band, right? So let's see, network band, do that plus this. So let's do that. So we have tower ID, this new line, type, this new line, network band. Well, so these three information are available for me. The rest are not yet. So if I do try to get them, I'm gonna get an error. So how about that? Do you think, guys, that this will run from the first run? Okay, place your bets. Place your bets. Winter is coming. It's actually there, here, already in Redlands. Oh. No, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to open the phonetics. Phonetic. My wife came up with this name. All right, guys. So this is a tool, by the way, right? So I have to click on the map, but it doesn't have a context with whatever I'm doing, right? So when I click on the map, T4 will be fetched. Oh, mamacita! Look at that! From the first run, baby. From the first run, no errors. That's what I'm talking about. T04 C 3G. So is this correct? So T04 C, and it's a 3G network. Where is T04? Please be T04. Yeah. So it's a type C and it's a 3G. How about that? For the next episode, guys, we'll actually get the rest of the information and we get them good too. You know, so we don't want just to query that. We're gonna cache the whole table into the memory, and then whenever anyone requests that tower type, all right, or I mean tower type, yeah, we're gonna give it to him in a nice data table memory, right? This way we avoid queries to the Geo Database. This is a very important thing. Queries, try to avoid queries as much as possible. So if I let me spend the next minute just talking about this now. So if we saw this now, how many queries are we making on this code that we have written? So no queries here because feature class is already basically established. So we're opening, and we're not opening, we're pointing to an existing opened feature class. And who opened it? ArcMap did. So we're just pointing to an existing opened feature class. So no opening, no touching the database here. Still memory stuff. Tower manager, this is setting the workspace, still nothing. GetTowerByID, go to the definition. What does this do is basically it opens the feature class. Now this is bad. This is the first bad code. Now I'm going to the database. This is a trip to the database that is actually absolutely not required because I already have a feature class is already opened, but yet I'm going anyway. I'm making this trip to open the feature class, but this is for simplicity anyway. But it just so happened that we're writing this code in a very generic way, but this code does not have necessary to have this feature class opened. It just so happened that we have this feature class, but maybe the workspaces will be opened by other manners. So yeah, it's not actually so bad code, but if you're looping through a code and getting towers by IDs and you are opening a feature class every single time within the same context of this tower manager, then this is bad. You have to probably cache that feature class if you're using it a lot, right? So these things, we're gonna do them slowly, hopefully. And yeah, tower ID should not contain a comma. This is my second query to the database. Query the database where tower ID equal this, cache this for me. Tower ID is not an index table. This is a table that I created, so obviously it's not indexed, so it's not optimized, but we can do that. We can optimize that. It's a recycling cursor, so it will be reused over and over again. And since we are returning one feature, it doesn't really matter. So, and then memory stuff, pure memory stuff, no queries to the database. Queries to the database, try to avoid them, guys. That's a tip for today. I'm gonna see you on the next one. Stay awesome. I'm gonna see you on the next episode, probably next week, hopefully. Guys, stay awesome. See you in the next one for the millionth time. Goodbye.